It's still too early. There's gonna be a lot of changes. You know that. I know that. But still, let's look at my 2018 fantasy football RB rankings. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. These are my RB rankings for this year. I plan to do these position ranking videos for the next couple of weeks, and then when it's late July, early August, I will do a follow-up and we'll do something more concrete. I'll do basically part 2 of these ranking videos. If you want to see more rankings, sleepers, mock drafts, real drafts, waiver wires, etc., I highly recommend you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. Now on to the rankings. Let's take a look at these top guys. As you can see, I have Todd Gurley, number 1, and just so you know, rankings are very difficult. You're always going up and down. It's a very tough job, but after I did a good amount of thinking, I'm keeping Todd Gurley number 1, and it's not just recency bias because he beasted last year. He's got a good offensive line. I think the offense is going to score a good amount of points. They're going to move the ball well. He is the main piece of that offense, and I don't see any type of threat to his position. He's going to be the workhorse for the Rams. One of the main reasons I like Gurley man number 1 is that we seen him catch a lot of passes last year, and you're gonna see a theme in this video and in my rankings that when running backs can stay on the field, can get a lot of snaps on offense, and they can catch the ball, they're gonna be valued a lot higher. I think right now, this year, this offseason is the official turning point for running backs that can't catch the ball, are just not even going to be valued in the NFL moving forward. I think what we saw with Adrian Peterson, a potential Hall of Famer, what happened to him, he got phased out of the Saints offense. And I mean, this guy was just amazing. One of the most exciting players to watch in football. So I think there's a shift. I know you all know it's coming, but I'm just saying it's more prominent than ever now. Number 2 is Le'Veon Bell. And I really tried to move this around. I really wanted to hate on Le'Veon Bell. He's not participating in OTAs, which doesn't really mean anything, but we might see a little bit of a holdout situation come during mandatory camp and practice like we saw last year, which I guess really affected his week 1 performance and maybe just how he started the season, a little bit out of shape, out of football shape, and he had to get acclimated to the game a little bit, but we saw him catch on fairly quick. It's a little bit worrisome. Another thing that causes worry with Le'Veon Bell is that he got well over 400 touches last year, over 300 carries. This is, I'd say, always a small red flag, which indicates that a guy who's got 300 plus touches may have a down year the next year. But when that's coupled with being 30 plus years of age, I think that's a huge red flag. And Le'Veon Bell, believe it or not, he's only 26. He quite possibly isn't even in his prime. If he was 30 years old, 31 years old, I'd probably rank him 4 or 5, something like that. But man, he's still young. He's still amazing. He's an every down back and an amazing receiver. He's a goal line back. He's smart. He has great vision, and they just have a good chemistry there with the offensive line and the way they block. It's kind of like artwork watching him catch that 2-yard pass, that 5-yard pass, and make people miss. Number 3 is Zeke. I think this is one of the safest picks as far as running backs go. And I think he'll catch the ball a little better. He'll continue to improve every year, which we've seen a lot of running backs do in the NFL because, hey, ongoing theme, you got to catch the ball now as a running back. But this offense, right, not like the Rams and not like the Steelers, I don't see this offense scoring a ton of points. On top of that, this is a type of offense that's one of the slowest tempo, usually the slowest tempo when it comes to calling plays. They like to eat up the clock and keep their defense off the field. They like to grind it out. But it is an offense that will run the ball, that will go through Zeke. The upside is a little risky here. Will this team score a lot of touchdowns? Like for instance, compared to Bell and Gurley's offenses, those teams might be scoring 3 touchdowns to every 2 touchdowns the Cowboys score. His offense might be bad. They may not move the ball fast, they may not move the ball efficiently, and they may not get in the red zone and within the 10-yard line as often as those 2 offenses. So I think his upside is a little bit capped. We're going to see those 3 touchdown games from Zeke, though. I'm not saying he has no upside. I'm just saying high floor, safe pick. He'll get a lot of touches, a lot of carries. He'll even catch the ball a few times. He'll be good. But I think other running backs have more upside. Like Kamara. Look, I'm not going to talk about every single running back. I just wanted to highlight a few running backs. But Kamara, really quick, I think he does have that high upside. And I think he's the guy who can catch 5 or 6 passes every game. Like, that's pretty insane if you're in a PPR league. And nowadays, just about everyone's playing PPR or half PPR. By the way, guys, these are PPR rankings, okay? I'm really focusing on PPR this year, and I feel like I'm just going to have a lot more time instead of doing standard and PPR. I think just like the league has shifted to be more of a passing league, I think a lot of fantasy leagues are now playing PPR as well, almost all the ones I know. A guy I want to talk about is David Johnson. I think the talent's still there. I think the skill is still there. He's going to be a workhorse back. I even think that 1,000 receiving yards, 1,000 rushing yard goal that he has, that is realistic. I think he probably won't get it because there's so many ways you can miss that. But it's still realistic. Like, he really can do this. He has the talent to do it. I just don't like the offensive line. And I don't really like the offense here. Much worse than the Cowboys. At least, what I didn't say was Zeke. He's got a great offensive line, okay? Like, we know he can have success. David Johnson, he's going to need to have that success in the pass game, which he will do. And number 6 might be too low for a guy like this, but I'm going more for upside. The reason why I ranked him a little bit lower is because I just don't see the Cardinals scoring a ton of points. They're going to get into situations where they're down a ton of points. And yeah, David Johnson can catch a lot of screen passes in garbage time. And also he can be benched. Like, why are you going to put David Johnson out there when you're down 4 touchdowns in the 4th quarter? There's going to be a couple games where that's going to happen with the Cardinals. It's just going to be tough. He's going to be seeing a lot of stack boxes. And man, I don't know, man. I don't think the Cardinals is a good team this year. Number 7, we have Kareem Hunt. I expect a similar year as last year. I think he'll be more consistent. He'll improve. I think it was really tough to adjust to the NFL for Kareem Hunt once defenses knew to zero in on him, like, hey, this guy's an elite running back, let's stop him. But I do think he did adjust. And there are a lot of options on this offense. You have Kelsey, you have Watkins, you have Hill, but Kareem Hunt will be a big weapon in this offense. And I do see this as a high-powered offense, potentially. He'll get a decent amount of carries, and I do see him being used even more in the pass game. And that's what we love. Those PPR points, those catches you get. Every time you catch, you get a point. Probably the biggest surprise out of these top 10, top 15 running backs I have is Jerick McKinnon, ranking him number 8. He's very comparable to Devonta Freeman. I believe they're the same size, basically. I think Jerick McKinnon's a couple pounds bigger, but they're both like 5'9". They're both pretty small. But I believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I think this guy has a ton of upside, a ton of talent. I think he's really good. I also believe in Kyle Shanahan, and following the money, looking at the contract, Kyle Shanahan finally went out and got the guy he wanted. Look, I'm just going to say it. I think the front office of the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan is way smarter than me, and I trust them. When you got a great organization and they're making moves out there, I'm going to trust the moves they're making. And in a PPR league, I think Jerick McKinnon can catch easily 70, 75 balls this year. I think he can do it, man. And I think he's going to be just like Devonta Freeman was in 2015 and 2016. Expect a lot of passes, a lot of targets, expect a decent amount of touchdowns, expect explosive, big plays, and Kyle Shanahan will work that magic. I really have no factual reason on why I ranked Melvin Gordon this low. I know that's a bad thing to say, but it's just a gut feeling. I think that they'll split carries a little bit more. They'll split a little bit more snaps with the other running backs there. Melvin Gordon is still going to be the starter. He's still going to be good. Like, I'm not saying that. And I do like the Chargers. I think they're going to be a really, really good team. But, man, I don't know. I think there's just so many running backs in this mix. You got, you know, Jerick McKinnon, Devonta Freeman, Christian McCaffrey. Like, there's so many good, whatever tier this would be, about tier 2 running backs that I don't think Melvin Gordon will be that top 5 back that we're used to. I just don't see it happening. But tune in. We'll tune in a couple months. We'll see how I feel about Melvin Gordon. I just feel there's better options out there at running back. Still rank 11 though, RB 11. That's not terrible. Devonta Freeman, I got him ranked number 13, but I feel like I could have ranked him anywhere up to number 8, where Jerick McKinnon is, all the way down to number 14. I think he'll be good. Maybe Coleman will vulture some touchdowns. We'll steal some snaps from him. Coleman's on the way out, so the Falcons might be like, let's just give him the ball, and we're not going to have him on the team next year, because you're definitely keeping Matt Ryan. You probably want to keep Julio Jones, and you're keeping Devonta Freeman, so Tevin Coleman's going to be the odd man out. Maybe they give him the ball a little bit more, because they don't care about his long-term health on the team, just the way it is. Let's take a look at some more rankings down the line. And I think the rookies, there's so many good rookies this year at the running back position. These are the ones that are going to change the most, and I tried to do my best. I have Rashaad Penny as the number 1 rookie running back, and other than Saquon, so number 2, you know. Saquon's, of course, you know, he's up there in my top 5. Rashaad Penny, I think this guy's going to be catching the ball. I think he's going to be a 3-down back. The Seahawks drafted him early, and I think they were really excited to draft him. Every time that happens, like, you feel like a team either reached or went out their way or got really excited to draft a running back, especially early on, and they don't have, you know, an elite running back like David Johnson or Le'Veon Bell or something. I think that's a huge sign, and that's one of the reasons I liked Kareem Hunt so much last year.
Should have started me, idiot.
Not just because there was injuries to the other running backs, not just because Andy Reid loves to get the most out of one running back, not really running back by committee, and throw to that running back like we know the coach, but also because how excited the Chiefs were to trade up in the 3rd round and draft Kareem Hunt. That was one of the big factors to me, and I think I saw a similar situation with the Seahawks. They didn't trade up to get an offensive lineman. They didn't, you know, try to do other moves that other people thought. Kind of a surprise pick. They went and got Rashaad Penny. They also got a tight end who can block. I forget his name, but it's going to help a little bit. Royce Freeman, I think he'll be the starter, possibly 3-down back, at least a 2-down back. I'm really excited with him. I think he's really good. I got him ranked number 16. He can go down. Then we have Ronald Jones. Slight worry about his hamstring. I think he'll beat out Peyton Barber, I guess, is his main competition. He'll beat him out. Probably be the 1st and 2nd down back, maybe even the 3rd down back. They have like Jaquiz Rogers, Charles Sims, I believe they're still on the team. So who knows, maybe one of them will get cut, but probably keep like Charles Sims as a 3rd down back. So a little bit worry there, a little bit competition, and probably won't be the 3rd down back, at least not the 1st year. Then we have Derrius Guice ranked 26. I like the running back. I kind of like the situation as far as the offense. I think he'll get a good amount of touches, but you also have Chris Thompson there. P. Ryan's not a huge worry to me, but he is still there. And I just don't see him being an every down back. I think this is more of a dynasty pick. I don't know. I'm kind of torn though. I do see a lot of touchdowns for him. I do see a lot of carries. And I do see this offense really liking Guice. Like, he'll be the type of guy to get more and more carries every game. So I do like him, but then, you know, I like pass catching running backs. Like running backs, not that he can't catch, but I'm just saying, like, Chris Thompson is there. I like running backs that'll catch a lot of passes. And then, guy I'm really torn on is Sony Michel. I mean, not really torn in where I'm ranking him, but just, like, this was one of my favorite running backs going into the draft, and I think I thought he would have slipped to round 2. He didn't. The Patriots drafted him. Pretty big shock. And I think they're going to use him. Like, call me crazy, I think they're going to use him. He's a guy, though, that may start off slow, too, and maybe not see as many offensive snaps in the beginning and keep working his way more into the offense. But, man, I got a gut feeling that Sony Michel is going to do big things this year. Not necessarily be a guy that you're going to depend on, you know, a dependable RB2 or even a flex starter. Not a guy who might be consistent, but I think we'll see a lot of flashes from Sony Michel. This is a guy that I'm really excited about when it comes to dynasty leagues, especially PPR. I think he's going to be the future running back for the Patriots. I got Sony Michel ranked 28, by the way. So a couple other guys I want to talk about really quick. Duke Johnson is just falling tremendously. From last year, he did very well, but you know, he's like in the 30s and 40s right now because he's not going to be that ideal slot receiver like he was last year. You got Jarvis Landry there. You got Josh Gordon, who might stay sober, might stay healthy, and play 16 games this year. You got David Njoku. You drafted another running back. So Duke Johnson's value takes such a big hit, especially compared to how he did last year in PPR leagues. And another guy I wanted to mention really quick is Rod Smith. I got him ranked 49. And he may not be the guy that you want to draft necessarily, especially if it's kind of close to the mid rounds. Like, this is a late round guy, and I think it's best to draft him more as a handcuff. But in a deep league, though, even if you don't have Zeke, Rod Smith, I think is worth getting. Like, you have to draft in those deep leagues. It's slim pickings in the late rounds. And as of right now, in 12-team leagues, even in 14-team leagues, Rod Smith is going undrafted, and I definitely think you need to draft this guy in the late rounds because he is probably my favorite handcuff. Other than that, you have Mark Ingram. I have no idea where Mark Ingram is going to go because I'm looking at ADPs, and you know, it's still May. So I'm looking at ADPs, and sometimes he's going in round 2. Late round 2, round 3, and that's probably before the suspension. And now after the suspension, he's not getting drafted. Like, we can't really trust the data. I think Mark Ingram is going to be picked in the mid rounds, like round 7. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, he's gonna be, if he's suspended, he's gonna really vary where he gets drafted, anywhere from round 4 or 5 all the way down to maybe round 8 or 9. But anyway, Rod Smith, though, I think is a sleeper. His value will go up. I mean, we have to keep tabs on what's going on in the Cowboys organization, the depth chart. But as of right now, I think Zeke is the main guy. He's the workhorse. And his clear-cut backup is Rod Smith, who's a decent running back. So if Zeke were to get hurt, I think Rod Smith, boom, could be easily top 5 running back. No Alfred Morris and no Darren McFadden there, by the way. Like I said, I'll be doing these ranking videos throughout the next couple weeks. I'll be coming out with the wide receiver next, then the quarterback, so on and so forth. Then I'll revisit this in a couple months and we'll do something more solid. This was more of a fun video just to see where my head was at, and I want to know what you guys think. I think you guys will be disagreeing on some of these rankings, especially David Johnson, number 6, these rookies. So let me know what you think. I mean, I really want to know your guys' opinion as well. I have a special video that in a few weeks I'm going to come out with about Joe Mixon. And there's another guy I'm really torn about because I think he has talent, but there's a lot of concerns with him. It's going to be a really good video, guys. So make sure you tune in and see that Joe Mixon special video I will be releasing shortly. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting this couch icon to the side of me over here. If you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, please. If you didn't, thumbs down. That's cool too. I'll see you on the next video.